this quick lesson, we'll go over how to find the direct object. Whenever you get these sentences, it's a really good habit to first locate the subject and the verb, because all the other words in the sentence are going to center around the verb. So let's find it real quick. See, the verb here is read. Who's doing the reading? Because that would be the subject. Who's doing the reading? The teens are doing the reading, so that's the subject of the sentence right here. Okay. We have a verb, also called the simple predicate. To find the direct object, you have to find out who or what is receiving the action. Right? So who or what is being read. So in this sentence, that's easy to pick out. Read what or read who. In this sentence, we can answer the read what question. So the books are the things being read. That is the direct object. Okay? The direct object will always be a noun or a pronoun. Okay? And in this case, it's a noun. The direct object in the sentence is books. Let's take this new sentence, for instance. All right, okay, the first thing we got to do is what? Find our verb. Verb is gave. Verb is always the action. Who did the giving? The teacher did the giving. So there's our subject. Gave is our verb or our simple predicate. What was given? Okay, what did the teacher give? The teacher gave her class something, okay, but what did he give? Give homework. The teacher gave homework. So in this sentence, the direct object is homework. Okay, and again, we'll do a check. It's a noun, so a noun can be an object. So gave homework. So homework is our direct object. Okay, here's a different kind of sentence for you. First thing you do, again, find the verb. Verb is flew. Verb is the action. Who did the flying? The bird did. Okay, so there's your subject. There's your verb, which is also your simple predicate. Okay, now, again, let's do our test to see if there's a direct object. We should be able to answer the question flew who or flew what, looking for a noun or a pronoun. But in this sentence here, it's telling you where the bird flew. Okay? Not that the bird flew a plane or the bird flew a helicopter, you know, but telling you where the bird flew. So in this sentence, when we have this preposition that is directly following the verb, there is no direct object. In this case, this verb is intransitive, which just means that there is no direct object. All right? The easiest way to tell whether a verb is intransitive is if it's immediately followed by a prep or an adverb. Okay, so in this case, the verb flew does not have a direct object. So here are 3 sentences we can work through and practice real quick. First sentence, the chef baked 12 pies. First thing we do, grab the verb. What's the subject of the sentence? Chef. Chef did the baking. Now let's ask ourselves, baked what or baked who? We can answer baked what. And what was baked? The pies were baked, which makes pies the DO. Second sentence, verb, completed. Who did the completing? Subject, students. And what was completed? The assignment was completed. Assignment's DO. Answers, what was completed? The next one, it looks like we have 2 verbs we have to deal with. We have to deal with the verb jumped, but this sentence also contains another verb, grabbed. So we're going to have to determine if the verb has a direct object. Each verb has a direct object. So let's tackle the first one. What was jumped? The boys jumped what? They jumped the fence. So there's your DO there. Oops, forgot to label my subject. Boys did the jumping. The boys jumped fence. Jumped what? Jumped fence. And grabbed what? Grabbed lumber. So in this sentence, we have 2 direct objects. 2 verbs. Each verb may have a direct object, and in this case, they both do. Now I want to give you three sentences that contain verbs that do not have direct objects. In our first sentence here, drove, that's our verb, that's the action. Get in the habit of finding the subject immediately. There's our subject, there's our verb or a simple predicate. Drove what or drove who? That question is not answered. This verb is followed immediately by over the bridge, which is a prepositional phrase. Okay? So when that verb is followed by immediately by a prepositional phrase, prep, we know that this verb is intransitive. And intransitive verbs don't have objects. Okay? We can't answer that who or what question after the verb. It's intransitive, no object. Down here, we have a different case. We have the verb read. Who did the reading? We. There's my subject. There's my verb or my simple predicate. But after this verb, we don't have anything at all. We have all this blank space. It doesn't answer the question read what or read who. It's just done with a sentence. So there isn't an object for the verb read. So that word read is also intransitive and does not have a direct object. And finally at the bottom, they waited patiently for the bus. We have this verb, waited. Who did the waiting? They did the waiting. Now this verb, this is the answer, waited what or waited who? That sounds like a goofy question to ask, but it doesn't answer that question. But we know that this verb here is immediately followed by this adverb, telling us how they waited. They waited patiently. When that verb is followed by an adverb, just like up top, when the verb is followed by a prep, we know that this verb is intransitive. And intransitive verbs do not have objects. It doesn't tell us, it just tells us where they waited and how they waited. They waited patiently. That's a how question. Okay? If there's a direct object, then it would answer a who or what question. Watch this video again if you need a further explanation, but some sentences just don't have direct objects.